Loyola law professor and political analyst Jessica Levinson. Jessica, good to have you. We're hearing all of these nudges for President Biden to step down. Are they doing this privately so that they don't have to use the 25th Amendment in public? Because that would be very significant. As simply as you can, explain the impact of the 25th Amendment.
Well, I would say I think that these are more pushes than nudges, and I'm not sure it's private in the sense that you and I are talking about it, but it's a great question as to, is the next option to say, okay, not only are we pushing you not to run again, but we're actually pushing you out of office. We don't even think you should finish the term. So there's a part of the 25th Amendment that has never been invoked, and it essentially allows the vice president and majority of the cabinet to say to a president, we don't think you are fit to do your job. We don't think you can uphold the duties of the presidency. And what happens is the vice president and majority of the cabinet send a message to Congress. But then there's an opportunity in that amendment for the president to say, actually, just kidding, I'm fine. At which point the question goes to Congress, and they have to vote by 2/3 of both houses to say, this is somebody who is not fit to serve. If it sounds difficult, that's because it is. And so I think there's a two-pronged approach, but I don't think the 25th Amendment, frankly, looks realistic at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, you said that element of the 25th Amendment has never been invoked before. The history of the 25th Amendment, if I read correctly, is pretty fascinating. It all happened. It was inspired by the assassination of JFK in 1963. It's been it was ratified as a part of our Constitution in 1967.
Well, that's right. We had a number of situations in our country where we either didn't have a vice president. There's also part of the 25th Amendment that talks about what happens if we don't have a vice president. We've had moments where we haven't had a president, but I think you're absolutely right that the conversation really came to a head after the assassination of John F. Kennedy Jr., where LBJ stepped in. He did take the oath of office, but a lot of people realize we need something in the Constitution that talks about what happens if we don't have a president, if we don't have a vice president, or, Marla, as you and I have been talking about now, we have a president, but he's not fit to serve. How can we ensure that where there's a safety valve, there's a nuclear option where we can say, I'm sorry, but you can't be the chief executive anymore?
Lastly, as mentioned, you're a constitutional law professor. The fact that we have gotten to this point and you could actually take what is happening right now in the year of 2024 and take this into the classroom, that's got to be pretty mind-blowing for you.
I will say that I have a PowerPoint on the 25th Amendment and the section we've been talking about, and it did come up after January 6th. It came up a few times before that, but it was not something that, to be honest, it was not a part of the Constitution that I focused on prior to these moments. This obviously is historic. We're talking about what the DNC is going to look like, what that convention is going to look like, who the nominee will be. These are extraordinary conversations to be having on July 18th.
It really is. Okay, well, we appreciate you taking the time out tonight. Jessica Levinson, thank you so much.
Thank you.